I think he's got an Argentina soccer jersey on.
Yes, Australia's finest. The funniest man in combat sports,
There he
by
is.
the way, Luke.
There he is.
Oh, our fine team putting things
I'd
together.
stand up, but I'm too rude.
Craig Jones, thank you for joining us. By popular demand for the show, okay? Okay? Oh, yeah. Nothing a double leg couldn't figure out. I wanted to find out if that was true. I mean, what if I just do people ever just shoot on you, Craig? I was more talking about your love life, but that's all right. You know, yeah, okay, there you go.
All right, we're setting him up here.
We're gonna get him a chair too, I'm sure.
Yeah, let's get him a chair. There was a dog earlier in the studio. It's mayhem.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take my glasses off. Here we are. There we are.
Oh yeah.
We both have birds tattooed on our forearms. Very clever. Very clever. Yeah, there he is.
Here's some fluids if you need it, Craig.
And there we are. Does he have headphones? Does he need them? I don't know if he needs them. Does it matter? It's up to you. You want headphones? All right. Nice to see you, Craig. How are you? Jesus. Hold on. Let's turn you up here a little bit.
Promoter life.
Can we hear him? Y'all can hear him good? How's he sound? Go ahead and talk, Craig.
Can you guys hear me? How we sound?
There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. All right. Very good.
I mean, it's been chaos, you know? Non-stop phone calls to grapplers. That's very challenging as it is to hear them talk, let alone having to be the middleman between them.
I heard you saying, like, on Rogan that you just don't even want to hang out with the jiu-jitsu guys because they're fucking weirdos.
They are a little weird, to be honest.
It's very true. They're very weird.
You know, we have an agenda here, but I mean, I got Craig Jones in the studio. Does cauliflower air get you laid more or less? I've always wondered.
That's a good question.
It's like a badge to some sort.
I think most women
depends who you're banging, right?
I think they think you're disabled, you know? So they're like,
oh, wow. All right. You know.
All right, let's talk about this. Let's set this up, Craig. There's a lot to get to, but let's start with the biggest news item if we can. I was hoping you were going to bring the $1 million. I was going to fucking put a cooker in your face and take it. But that aside.
That's DC talk.
That's DC talk.
Yeah.
The Craig Jones Invitational. I've messaged you being like, dude, is this fucking real? And he was like, it's real. Okay. This is now the 87th podcast you've done this week, so I know it's real.
Hopefully, yeah.
The whole aim of it is what? Is to get more pay out of ADCC? Because it can't be to make a profitable event. It's not possible to do that.
This is the equivalent of putting on an MMA event in Vegas against the UFC on the same night as the pay-per-view.
We're going to put that
right?
mic a little closer.
Closer.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen the Curb Your Enthusiasm episode about the petty store?
No.
I have not.
Watch that. That'll give you a bit of insight into it. Right? But no, I mean, I think it's just to grow the sport, grow grappling. You know, we're taking all the ticket sales, giving it to charity. We're just trying to do something good here. Put it free on YouTube. I think grappling's hard enough to watch for free, let alone behind a paywall. So we've got to at least remove that paywall to get some eyes on this.
Well, at least High Rollers instituted a reason to get involved.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, we're not giving away a pound of weed. We're giving away a pound of nose bourbon.
Did you ever go into the High Rollers place in Vegas?
No, I haven't actually. I'm not into the downers. I'm into more of the uppers.
No, see, I'm not into the uppers. I'm into the downers, big time.
All right. I mean, can't. Maybe at the end of the night for me.
If you go to we went to the High Rollers thing, and Apache Mix had a match there, and some other ones. Dude, when you walk in, they had a bucket, a fucking bucket of just pre-rolls and like all encased.
All you can handle.
And it was like, just take as much as you want. We got high as fuck.
That gives me anxiety. That gives me anxiety. I can't speak if I start smoking. Really? Start second guessing.
I start hosting podcasts when I do. It's great.
What has been the response privately, not publicly, privately, to what you've been doing in jiu-jitsu?
I mean, it's a mixed bag. I would say 99% overwhelmingly positive. A few death threats in there, you know, but mostly good.
But you mean real threats to get out of this space? You're on my corner, or else.
I mean, there has been some very angry, upset people, obviously, but
who's the most pissed off?
I don't want to say. They might come through with their threats, you know.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Now, obviously, people are going to be angry. We're putting on the same weekend, basically. But for the fans, they can go to our event Friday, Saturday, and they can go watch the ADCC finals on Sunday. And you know what? I'm a very generous guy. I don't want to completely disrupt their event. Whoever wins ADCC Worlds this year will get an invite to my event next year. It'll become a qualifier.
That's big of you. That's big of you.
Well, like when the ABA disrupted professional American basketball, they ended up merging with the NBA. When the AFL ended up merging with the professional NFL in the States. Is your goal to merge down the line and make grappling at the highest level even better? Or are you just like, we can do it better than you? We can get paid more. We can get better exposure. So it's time to teach class.
I don't think we need them. You know, I don't think we need anyone else in this space. I think we don't need them to help us out here. You know, it seems like everyone's jumping ship as it is. I think it's obviously going to end up being the new wave invitational, the new wave open mat, but I think we're going to do fine by ourselves.
How many competitors? Okay, so there's 2 weight classes, right? Above 80, below 80 kilos. How many do you want in each division?
We're going to fill 16 places in each division. $1 million, winner takes all. $10,001 to show up. Other events pay $10,000 to win. We threw in the extra $1. Yeah, and we're going to fill it up. And my dream is really, like, I always come second place. So I was like, fuck paying second place anything. It's $10,001 or $1 million. So for me, you better use some of that $10K for health insurance because no one's tapping in that final.
No, I don't suspect that they would. And is it a little bit weird? Like, someone was asking me, like, oh, there's just really no way that someone who is, like, how big does Nicky Ryan walk around?
I mean, he changes shapes every 3 minutes. Right now, though, honestly,
he's reptilian, Luke. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets broad, he gets skinny. I don't know what he weighs right now, but he'd be perfect for the 80 kilo.
What the fuck? Oh, here we go. Is this your guy?
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on, dude? I didn't even know he was there.
Yeah.
He fucking snuck up on me like a ninja.
That's racist because it's in the dark.
Well, okay. I was focusing on you. I'm sorry. I wasn't looking around.
That's why he turned the light on now.
You wouldn't have had the takedown defense Anthony Smith did during an invasion. I'll tell you that much.
Hey, careful now.
Okay.
How many people do you have signed? Booked? It's in.
Signed. Only like 5 to 6 each division. We're waiting for a couple key players that are in negotiations right now that are doing gi worlds. And those guys said to me, fuck off, and I'll talk to you next week.
Gi Worlds is when?
I think it's this weekend, yeah.
Where is that?
That is in California at the Pyramid. I don't know, somewhere in California.
Dude, it's so weird. 15 years ago, Gi Worlds was where all the A grapplers went. I guess they still do to an extent.
I think so.
But it was the most important. I mean, ADCC was important, but it was still a little
I like
bit.
that. Was important. Yeah.
Say again?
I like how you said ADCC was important. I'm taking that.
Well, okay, but like, I mean, so here's the thing. You're like, oh, I don't want to get sideways with ADCC. How do you not get sideways? Because if you get 16 in each division, that means you're going to drain from ADCC, which means that the value of that title this year, it's not insignificant, but it's certainly not going to be what it once was. I don't see how they take kindly to that.
I mean, I really do a lot of things that offend a lot of people, but it's basically I'm giving the athletes a choice, giving them a choice, giving them another platform. You know, they're free to make their decision. Other events out there sometimes forget to get guys on contracts, so it left a bit of a void in the market that I could do something like this. Because I would imagine, no matter what industry it is, if you were putting on an event and investing potentially millions of dollars in it, the stars of that show or should probably be signed to a contract. But that's just me.
And the investor is who?
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to know, I've got my fingers in a lot of things. So one of the things I've been developing, engineering, if you will, is reinventing sunglasses. I want you to see if you guys can identify the special feature built into this.
Oh, wow. Do you think it's cocaine?
Is this like an X-ray thing?
No, it's not the lenses.
Oh, wow.
But you were on the right track.
Oh, wow.
Let me see.
You gotta find where he hides the heroin in those, Luke.
Have you guys ever needed both sunglasses and a little spoon at the same time?
Wait. I don't see it. This is so you can.
Yeah, Luke, you can.
As an athlete, I have to monitor my sugar intake. And I wouldn't want to have too big a spoon.
Look at the name tag there. I mean, that is just so good.
We gave you a great lower third there if you can.
Nose beer enthusiast, that's for sure. That's representing Maradona here. I take a page.
Honoring Maradona right here, Luke.
Why can't you tell me who the investor is?
Why? Because anyone that gets money gets asked for money. Anyone that has money gets asked for money.
Okay, Ariel thinks it's at Zuck.
Listen,
that absolute nerd.
Zuck's getting a lot of credit for this shit. He better put some money in. So
it's not him.
It's not Zuck.
Okay. Have you talked to him about this?
I actually haven't spoken to him about it.
Okay.
But I should maybe throw some.
I think he could. I mean, $1 million to that guy is.
He's going to make himself compete in it like Foxcatcher style, though.
That would be cool. I'd throw it to him, you know? Invested it. If he invested.
Fuck it. Who cares at this point, right?
Yeah.
He was asking me if you're the best grappler in the world, and I was trying to be like reverential, but I don't think that's. I don't think I can say that.
What should be said about your grappling reputation?
Listen, that's what I tell women and they believe it. And that's the story I'm sticking to. Who's the best grappler in the world?
No, what do you think you should be called? And when we're trying to present in one sentence what you mean to grappling.
I represent myself like a lot of OnlyFans models do. I'm a young entrepreneur.
Selling that butthole.
I'll sell anything, you know. Obviously, we sell the spoons, we sell the body, we sell underwear, whatever it takes
Are
to
you on
push the
OnlyFans?
sport forward. I used to be.
Okay.
Used
Does your
to sell
sunglass
underwear.
company make one with a bong in it? Because Luke would be all over that. Or vape at the end, you know?
Something like that would be nice. Yeah. I mean, it's
One
something
end
new.
vape, the other to just kind of itch the
That's
asshole.
you.
Luke.
That's you.
Yeah,
yeah,
That's
yeah.
all you,
You
buddy.
could use a spoon for that.
Yeah, there you go.
I just wouldn't use it twice.
When's the next big announcement about who you got coming in the tournament?
I was actually just speaking to a big Brazilian just now on the phone. I can't confirm his place.
Antonio
Yeah?
Bigfoot Silva. Yes.
I mean, it could be. Nah, I don't know. But I'm speaking to guys now. We're trying to like pace the announcements. But in the today and yesterday, I've secured a legend of the past, and today probably a future legend.
Can you tell us who the legend of the past is?
Ooh.
Sadly, not.
When you say past, how far back are we talking?
Still active, but not in jiu-jitsu.
Well, that sounds like Demi and Maya to me.
It's not, but I won't.
Is that a
I
good
won't.
guess?
There's not too many guesses. I'll give you that, but you're on the right track.
I've been curious to see if he would ever get back into it. I would love to. I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's on the table.
Maybe
but
Hickson by armbar. Maybe.
Hickson's got Parkinson's.
Parkinson's, yeah.
Oh, I'll take that back. I'll just,
Yeah.
I'll just forget, I'll just forget I
rewind
said
that
that
shit.
out loud.
You're like, yeah, why isn't Freddie Roach taking any celebrity boxing matches? I don't know, BC.
Yeah,
Why? Why? You
I'm just
fucking
going to go
idiot.
back to the caffeinated water over
Yeah.
there. Yeah. All right.
You used to live in New York, right?
Yeah, I lived here for maybe 2 years, trained at the Blue Basement.
Where did you live in New York?
I lived around. I was in Harlem for a while, I was in Brooklyn for a while, and I ultimately ended up over in Hoboken.
Okay, rate New York 1 to 10. What is it?
One.
A fucking one? Get the fuck out! How is it a 1?
Get the fuck out. I'm trying to. I hate this place. Nah.
I mean, it's dirty as shit.
There's
it's
human
true.
feces every single time we go to the.
How do you
the
identify
local subway stop.
that it's human?
Say again?
How do you know so well that it's human?
Okay, I can't guarantee it, but the amount is so copious.
The
It would have to
flavor-
be a gigantic dog.
The flavor, the texture, the smell, I don't know.
It's just the amount.
Big dog.
Why didn't you like New York?
There's too many people here, you know? I
I
like a
agree
bit of
with
peace
you.
and quiet. Like I'm trying to sleep, homeless people screaming at me, you know?
That's why
Difficult.
I'm in New York suburb. It's called Connecticut. You know, just gotta get away a little bit, Luke. You know?
That is the feces.
Luke,
that I see.
meanwhile, lives in like downtown DC. Like you're
I
right.
don't live downtown.
Kind of.
I can't afford downtown. No, I don't live downtown. It's very expensive.
You need an anonymous $1 million donor like me to get into the downtown.
We got to talk to that guy because I want to get the fuck out. It'd be great. It'd be nice. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about this tournament. So we saw you on Ariel's show, and there was an issue about whether or not you were going to have a match with Gabby Garcia.
Which
Done
is the
deal.
most genius idea.
Was that
ever.
resolved?
Done deal.
So there's
Okay.
she's not doing ADCC.
Not doing ADCC.
Okay. And by the way, contractually, if you do the CGI, you're contractually
CJI.
forbidden.
CJI. Luke.
CJI, excuse me, CJI. You're contractually forbidden from doing ADCC?
Oh, well, you just couldn't do any other event that could potentially interfere with our event.
I see. Just from a calendar perspective.
Yeah, from a calendar. Probably, I mean, you usually do like a 2-week window, 4-week window before, but realistically, for the big events, no athlete's going to try and compete close. Like, no one would compete 2 weeks before ADCC historically because they might risk injury for ADCC.
Have the guys from Danaher messaged you about this at all?
I mean, we're not on talking terms, you know? Like,
Yeah, but you guys are always talking about each other on social media. That's actually not quite true, right?
well, unfortunately, it's one-way traffic. They stopped talking about me.
Oh, they did?
But I can't help myself, you know? I cannot help myself.
But so none of them, like not even the satellite people, have commented about any of this?
No, and that's probably concerning, you know? Like, they're probably
Why?
plotting something, you know?
Oh.
They should throw something my way. I mean, obviously, Gordon's busy. It's hard regurgitating Fox News articles every 3 minutes, you know? That's not easy. That takes time, effort, and thought.
That man battled serious health scares.
I think he still is, right?
Yeah.
What's his status? Do you know?
I don't know.
Is he still doing ADCC?
He's still doing ADCC. Yeah, I think he's doing Super Fight and something else, allegedly. But I mean, obviously, I'm out of the loop.
Yeah.
They don't ask me my opinion, clearly.
If Mo Jassim, who is the guy who basically is behind ADCC, if he hit you up for a meeting, would you take it?
I would want to do it in public, you know? He keeps being like, hey, let's meet, let's talk privately. I'm like, why? Obviously, this is an issue for the fans and the athletes.
Look, we
Let's
can get a
do it.
fourth
Okay.
chair in here if you can get Mo down here.
I messaged him today.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I don't know.
Messing for a statement. Nah, he wants to do it privately. I'm like, I got nothing if I can talk about privately. Let's just air it to the fans.
Is this like on the one hand, the message of CJI is like, let's uplift, let's promote the sport, let's get some money. And I think everyone in that sense, especially because it's just disrupting the order, is really very intrigued. But at the same time, I guess I'm just sort of wondering, I don't know how to word this exactly. I'm kind of trying to figure out, are you trying to get the power makers on your side, or are you trying to get them to bend to a greater will? You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? Like, you're trying to get them to, because ultimately what you want is ADCC to raise the amount of their
That's
pay.
all I wanted from day one. When I started complaining about athlete pay, that's all I wanted. Just some better treatment for the athletes.
How do you feel like jiu-jitsu athletes are in terms of fighting or advocating or acting in a way where they can improve their own pay? Obviously, you're leading by example, so present company notwithstanding. Do you feel like jiu-jitsu athletes care about these things?
They care, but they have no leverage. You know what I mean? Like, they should have never given me any power at all. Because, like, I'm going to take that, run with it, and try to make the sport better for everyone else. But if you're like an undercard guy, if you're not a draw, if you don't have a following, what are you going to do? Criticize the power structures? You're just going to get pushed out. So it's like only people at the top can do this.
So is your goal that a year from now, this same weekend that you're targeting, that you're back competing head-to-head with ADCC, or that you won the battle you're trying to fight this year and you're competing at ADCC but for bigger purses?
Well, they do every 2 years. We want to do it every year. You know, like we'll see how the cookie crumbles, whether in 2 years we end up on the same day. We don't have to, you know, but like we want to do it every year.
But you want this to be a thing. Every year this will become the elite event?
That's the intent, is to do it every year. So we got funding for this one. Obviously, the funder's happy to continue this going, depending on the success of this one. But the goal isn't just to take a massive loss and disrupt the industry. Like, I firmly believe that if you can sell out T-Mobile and get massive streaming rights, you can secure sponsors, you could do it in a way that's more beneficial to the athletes involved.
What does fair pay in jiu-jitsu look like?
A free meal.
They don't get those?
Yeah.
10 grand is not a lot.
So
but
for a layman like me, you're saying every 2 years, the Super Bowl of grappling, the winner gets 10 grand.
Yes.
10 grand, yeah.
Kind
No.
of that's
People
it.
don't know that.
Does Dana White run that?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
It's not.
I was going to ask if Dana White was the benefactor.
I mean, here's the thing, though.
Was he the guy supplying the
Jose,
money?
but in fairness, though, it wasn't like long ago. ADCC, I remember when they went to China. That was when you had the Gary and then the
Ron Gracie,
Kron
right?
Gracie
Yeah.
matches. And then they were in Finland, I think, sometime around that as well. It's only recently where they really begin to bump up the way in which it has looked. So is the argument like, okay, before, at that time, when they were doing Finland, when they were doing China, which looked like it was in a high school gymnasium for all intents and purposes, maybe there really wasn't a whole lot of money back then, but now you're saying things have changed. Now we're in a different place.
For sure, things have changed. Like, my first ADCC was 2015 in a basketball court. My last one was in a sold-out Thomas and Mack. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's over 4 events. And athlete pay, compensation hasn't changed. So it's like, if we're contributing to selling out the arena, like, surely I get paid more than the guy that runs the hot dog stand in the car park.
The contracts for ADCC, are they restrictive?
No contracts.
So how does it work when you compete at ADCC? How do you get an invite?
You get an invite, yeah, you say, I'm in, take care of your
You
flight.
don't sign anything?
No. I mean, you've got a massive obstacle there. Most grapplers can't read.
Well, I'm not going to.
Okay. That's a hurdle. That's a hurdle. But in all seriousness, this whole fucking thing, the Olympics of jiu-jitsu is a fucking handshake deal?
Yeah, if that, you know, it's like
Holy shit balls. I had no idea.
Well, that's why I like that you're going against Gabby and you're bringing the intergender into this, because, you know, I'm a boxing guy. So when I think of
it's Andy Kaufman,
competitive
motherfucker.
grappling,
You need a
I'm
belt
like,
for that.
I'm like,
Intergender champion.
So
You
I got to
definitely
go
need
to
that.
my local gym and get behind a guy like this and roll with him in the spoon position for 3 hours. I'd rather do it with beautiful women. So I think you're opening up.
Dude, that is a sex crime, what you're describing. I mean, you're straight up, I want to go to gym so I can molest women.
So in all seriousness, like, hype up this super fight main event, you against Gabby, because I'm fired up. Like, what's this going to look like?
What's it going to look like? It's going to be very...
Outside of sex crime jokes, what is this going to look like?
It's going to be very dominant. I'm obviously going to take some PEDs for a woman of that caliber. Probably 20 milligrams of Cialis should get the job done. You know what I mean? I'll put my body on the line to make sure one of us gets finished. If it's me, it'll be early. If it's her, probably take a bit of time.
What does she, how would you describe your relationship with Gabby?
Combative. You know what I
Really?
mean? Love-hate relationship. Yeah. Whenever I video call her, she pulls out her butt plugs. They look like they wouldn't touch the sides, but she pulls them out anyway. You know?
Oh my God, the sensors are probably.
Our boss right now. Our boss right now is running to the Apollo Theater to get the hook.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I would say it's probably the size and shape of the microphone.
No, I'm serious.
you know?
Like, do you guys? friendly?
Oh yeah, we're friends for sure, you know. But like, obviously, come Judgment Day, there's going to be some.
When you came to her with this idea, what did she tell you? You remember?
I mean, it was 2.5 years ago. There's been a lot of building up to this.
Oh, I see.
But she's into it. She loves it.
What was the straw that broke the camel's back? Just the pay that you were offering for her? Because she's not doing the actual invitational. She's just having a super fight with you, correct?
Exactly, yeah.
What are you paying her? Can I ask?
I can't say.
Oh, fuck off. No, you gotta say. This whole thing is about, changing the game.
Transparency.
I thought you were going to say something else then.
Also drugs. Drugs.
There's another. Yeah, he's talking about Bangkok, and have you seen
Bangkok ready?
Have you seen his videos? Yes.
What is she making?
I can't say. It's between. I may have promised
5
her
or 6 figures.
I may have promised her some sexual favors in return for taking the match, win or lose.
Is she okay with these comments? Because I mean, I'm laughing aggressively here, but also fearfully.
You should be afraid.
Yeah. Jiu-jitsu doesn't have an HR department, but we do. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of a different rule.
Let's just say I'm coming down to the mat space in a white tank top with a cigarette in my mouth, ready to fight a woman.
All right, let's talk about some of the rules.
Hold on, with what, like a G-string on, basically?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a red panty night for me, something along those lines.
Well, hold on, because, it would be a joke for me to ask you about the drug testing, but are you willing to go the extreme way where when the grappler appears to perform, you will show on the bottom of the screen everything he did take?
I would love to know what they're on. For Gabby, we're both going to drug test and STD check before the match, just for an extra layer of safety.
Oh, wow.
Are there... I cannot believe I'm asking
I mean, a singlet could have done that, but maybe it could seep through. You never know, Luke.
That's a double bagger.
I haven't heard a double bagging joke since college. All right, let's talk about some of the rules. First thing, the fighting surface. You're calling it the alley because it has the angled sides. How big is the flat surface? How much does it cover?
Oh, I mean, total 30 by 40, so it's pretty long.
Okay, that's pretty big. And then explain to me how this one is not. I realize that the inspiration came from Karate Combat, but you can't be taking their exact gimmick, right? So how is this one different at all?
I mean, length, size, shape, as much as we can. They obviously inspired us, but we're doing the alley.
Look, theirs was ding, 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 did a ding, ding.
Yeah.
Right? Theirs was.
Have you ever seen this? Vanilla Ice explaining how he didn't take from David Bowie and Queen?
I haven't seen it, no. But I might need his legal defense.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's close. It's pretty close. Yeah.
All right. So is the mats, are they elevated in any way?
No, it's just what we're working on now. We're meant to drop tickets today, but actually, because if you think about it, like anything with an angled wall, if we put it for ground floor seating, you're looking at the angled wall. That's why people always do elevated stage or they'll do mats just on the ground. It's way easier for seating. So we have to put the alley, we have to build a stage around it at the ground floor of the Thomas & Mack so we could put those extra close seats. They can actually see what's going on.
Are you going to put celebrities there? Jiu-jitsu celebrities?
I think so. I mean, yeah. If there are any.
I mean, that's something like the Knicks game. There's Spike Lee. There's Chris Rock.
Tom Brady goes to Power Slap.
Oh my God, I forgot. Yeah, you got to get some of the Power Slap guys.
That's true. Maybe me and Gabby will turn into Power Slap. That could be the overtime.
What are the rules for that one? It's the same as the rest of the Invitational?
It is this. Yeah, it's basically 3 by 5 minute rounds. I mean, we'll do open scoring, score round by round, so they know where they're at. We're trying to steal MMA fans as best we can.
Okay, so open scoring in MMA, I hate. Open scoring in jiu-jitsu, I have no problem with at all because everything is, well, you can do it in a points-based way that doesn't totally ruin the sport. The 10-point must system part, I got to tell you, like MMA fans hate the 10-point must system, so it's a little bit unusual for me that you've picked it. Obviously, it's an adapted version of it, but you will have judges, correct?
Judges, yep.
How does that work?
We'll have 3 judges, and basically they'll score dominance of the round. You know what I mean? So say, hypothetically, it's a 4-point difference in an IBJJF match or something like that. We consider that a pretty dominant round, like a 10-8 round. You almost finish a guy and dominate him, could be a 10-7, something close 10-9.
And who's going to judge? Because you would need people that know what the fuck is up to do that.
We're negotiating right now, but it is in good hands. I will say that. But we are.
So Eddie Bravo, Alex Jones,
Judge
who else?
Judy, probably.
Who else?
Judge Judy would be good.
Yeah.
Anybody? Are these famous people, or are these like a Shaolin Habera who's like not well known but well respected?
I can't say just yet. These things are
Glad
working.
you're here, Craig.
These things are working fast. You know what I mean? Like I've been busy. I'll tell you what, I've been up all night. I do not sleep for this event.
How do you sleep at night?
Is there going to be 3 judges? Or how many judges total are you hiring?
I think just 3. Yeah, 3 judges.
So how many matches are going to go on simultaneously?
just one mat at a time. Oh, so we'll probably have a bigger team, but just one mat at a time.
I see, okay.
Because so some of the bigger tournaments, multiple mats, you're like, fuck, I can't keep up. So because we're doing less divisions than the other tournament, we just want one mat.
Where's it going to air?
Free on YouTube.
Free on YouTube.
We've had streaming offers, but I want it free on YouTube to see how many viewers grappling does get. Obviously,
Right.
it'll be artificially
no obstructions.
inflated.
All you need is an internet connection,
Yeah.
and that's it. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what we want. We want to get that information and obviously leverage it against other streaming promoters
This
for
being broadcast
negotiation.
on cell phones, or you have a full team? This is a
Yeah. Who's going to do the actual production work?
That's a question for my business partner, but we have a team in place. Everything's moving super fast. We're gonna
the guys from Brazzers are actually just going to pivot.
I'm gonna have
over,
a GoPro. It's gonna be POV for Gabby.
Dude,
It might be the other way around.
Listen,
Actually,
if you
no.
get us fired, can your investor save us for a
Please.
yearly
Yeah.
salary?
I can't make any promises, but you
So-
can come into the sunglass industry.
Craig, you've blown up in the space that I view the world through, which is like MMA Instagram. Like you've crossed over, and obviously you have a
Women's Instagram in particular.
you have like tangibly crossed over in MMA. You're Alex Volkanovski's grappling coach, and grappling is MMA adjacent in a lot of ways. But like, are you aiming to be a major player in this sort of UFC social media window?
I'll ride the coattails of whoever will let me. Basically, I'll work with whoever to make a contribution to grappling. At the end of the day,
So
I'm
it
trying
really
to grow
is
the
about the
sport.
love of the art and the craft to you. That's all it is.
I mean, clearly, I'm fighting a woman. It is about the love of the game here. You know, I will do anything to grow this sport.
Pure sportsman.
Yeah.
Is really what this all comes down. How do you see yourself? Seriously, how do you see yourself? How do you explain when people meet you for the first time? How do you explain who you are and what you do?
Oh, that's good. I mean, I'm just making memes. I think making a joke. I'm a real life meme.
No,
You
but
know?
you're a guy who competed because you came out of nowhere. I remember the first ADCC. We're like, who the fuck is Craig Jones? And he was beating everybody. And then you've turned into like a really good grappler. You made, I think, a decent living from what I can tell from the instructional side. You obviously have part of a famous gym. But now it seems like onto obviously something different a little bit. This is sort of you've always been kind of a jokester. You have the Mountain Dudes thing, the B team gear, all that stuff. But it's a little different now. I feel like you've, for example, all the places you're traveling. When I first hit you up, you're like, I'm in Bali, I'm in Kiev. It's just, it does seem like you've kind of moved on from that sort of secondary identity.
Somebody's laundering money through you, and I'm here for it. It's
Well,
great. You know?
we've got to secure funding. A place you can go to. I was just in Ukraine. They're giving away missiles over there, and Iran's buying. That's where we can fund tournaments like this.
How much pushback did you get for going to Ukraine from the jiu-jitsu community, which skews?
I mean, obviously, I wasn't popular in Russia to begin with because of the Islam Makhachev jokes, but that definitely pushed it over the edge, I think.
Have you heard that you're not popular in Russia, or are you just doing a bit?
No, I mean, the messages I get, the death threats I get for,
Oh, really?
for supporting Ukraine.
Dude, you know,
government.
one time I had, this was, God, what fight was this? I can't remember, but I had Colby Covington come through studio. And, this was right after he was like, all you Brazilians are filthy animals, blah, blah, blah. Remember that one? He showed me his phone. This fucker was scrolling, I'm not kidding, for like 5 minutes, death threat after death threat in Portuguese, just all the way down.
At least you can't read them.
Yeah.
It's got the translate button
There's
in
probably
between.
a few bare boobs and other things in there.
I would look at it the
when
other
he's
way.
scrolling.
If it's in another language, I just assume it's positive. I'm like, oh, fuck, they're saying nice things about me.
Yeah, the middle fingers really give it away, you know? It's a different
All right,
thing in
but like
Portuguese.
you've made for as hilarious as you are, and you're almost this ambassador / mascot of grappling, and now you're a promoter. Like you made significant contributions in the evolution of MMA grappling. Like that's a true fact. You in Volkanovski's corner and the great team he already has, how he leveled up in that first Makhachev fight. Like it was, we remember talking about it. Like it was shocking.
I remember you
You're
talking
able
about
to kind of pump your chest. Do you do? I don't know. Do you do that often and be like, yeah, man, I was a big part of helping that guy deal with the toughest wrestler in the world?
I mean, I don't take too much credit for it personally, publicly, to sell instructionals I do. On the other hand, I used you talking about it to put it into a commercial to sell my instructionals.
Oh,
Really?
shit.
What did I say?
You just put it all on me. I was like, I'll take it. I'll take it and I'll sell it.
Did you make more for being in Mr. Faber's weed movie or for being in his commercial?
I made nothing for doing
Okay,
that.
all right.
So,
There you go.
yeah.
There you go.
And we still haven't paid. No, but I really just did the best I could. I don't know. I mean, obviously, Volks talented to begin with. You know, like I couldn't just take anyone and improve.
But you
their
saw
game.
something. You had the right guy to execute it. But it seems like you were adding something significant to the MMA grappling space. Do you see it as that, or do you just see it as how can I help each guy that I protect?
I mean, it's hard to truly say what you're responsible for because he's out there doing it. You know what I mean? It's like kind of taking what he already does and trying to make adjustments in any way I can rather than being like, oh, we're going to try this whole new move for this. So I'm already just trying to help what he's already doing.
But are you watching UFC fights on the regular going, I see how I could help elevate that guy. I see how much maybe they're not thinking about this side of grappling and jiu-jitsu into implementing it into the game.
I mean, most of the time I watch it as a fan, try to steal moves off guys. Try to see what I can steal.
Yeah, but hold on. Okay, you're doing a bit here, but I do want to like interject because one of the things that I have got from you that is, and every story is going to be different. Part of what you do, I've seen balls to the wall. I've seen, by the way, half of his instructionals just sound like gay porn. I mean, balls to the wall, two guys fucking. I mean, these are the names of Craig Jones's instructionals.
False reap accusations.
False reap accusations.
Two men wearing one cup, something. Yeah.
Okay, but in all seriousness, every time I watch it, there's a consistent thread, which is
something gay.
Yeah, this guy is gay. But no, it's in all seriousness, it's jiu-jitsu has been doing things this way for a long time. Here's why so much of this is wrong. Here's a better way to do it. And I do feel like that has kind of, whether it's just you or you and the Dan, the Dan Hard New Wave guys, give them credit to, whoever, there's just been this idea of like, we should rethink turtle. We should rethink octopus guard. We should rethink
doing 69 at all.
Yeah.
Sorry, north-south. At all. You know what I mean?
Which, by the way,
which he has shown can be a pin. I remember that from the balls to the wall instructional, right? So I'm just sort of pointing out, don't you feel like there's a little bit of that you are at least at a bare minimum associated with?
Yeah, I mean, you got to try to challenge the status quo. I'd rather try and find a new way to beat people at their game than, basically a new way to contribute to the game that they're not prepared for rather than beat them at their own game. That's what I tried to do when I came into jiu-jitsu. I was like, how can I beat people that are better than me? And leg locks was the first path. And I still try to find those shortcuts now. And you got to sort of challenge the status quo to do that.
Let me ask you, since again, the big thing I got from you was pinning, right? I just learned a lot from watching your instructionals. Did catch wrestling kind of have it right? I don't necessarily mean with like, well, let's put a thumb in the eye and like, pain submissions rather than like, limb breaks or strangles. But they kind of had it right to an extent, did they not? Like, what did catch wrestling get right? What did it get wrong?
I mean, I do love trolling. They take themselves very seriously.
They get very bitter. They get very upset.
I was going to bring out an instruction at one time called catch wrestling moves that work. And when people press play, nothing, it just didn't.
It's you urinating, just taking it out. Yeah.
I was like, I better not do that. No, I mean, I don't know too much about catch wrestling. I've trained with catch wrestling guys. I think they're just not restrained by the rule systems we work in today. So it's like, I feel like we'd come to the same conclusions if we had a more broader rule set.
Right. Who has, aside from yours, who has the best rule set in pro grappling? Is it the Fight Pass Invitational? People seem to love that.
It's good. I mean, for me personally, I would just try to pick a rule set I can beat an opponent in. Exploit that. I just try to exploit the rule set. So everything's strategy based. So I'm like, all right, they want me to face this opponent. How can I change the rules to make it easier for me? So I don't even think about there's one best rule set. I just try to exploit the rule set on offer or the opponent.
Let's talk about MMA a little bit because I know you wanted to get to this. What was the game plan if it went to the ground? Obviously, these are going to be scenario based, right? But what was the game plan for Ortega to the extent that you were involved in that one? Because I think you were there for the full camp for that one.
For that one, I trained with him a ton on Ultimate Fighter, and then we did some videos, but I was only there fight week, I think, for that one.
Oh, is that right? Okay, so
exchange videos.
Nevertheless, did you guys discuss that? Like, what were you there to do specifically for him?
I mean, just submission defense, because I already knew. Obviously, we're on Ultimate Fighter for 6 weeks. We already knew that fight was coming, so we were already thinking about what submissions he's good at, how we could defend against him, and basically putting in the prep then, and then he would drill those style of escapes all the time in the lead up.
Did he drill mounted guillotine?
We did the kipping escape, and he kind of used that to get out of the guillotine, but still, I don't fucking know how he got out of it. But for the public at large, I sold an instruction on how he got out of it, But that's ancient history now,
Okay, the first Islam fight. What was the game plan for you?
I mean, just getting out of the leg ride position. I mean, really, worst case scenario. Like, obviously, we have Frank Hickman there for the wrestling as well. Some of this is going to be definitely wrestling. But, I mean, just really getting out of those bad pin positions. I basically tried to replicate what he did, and I brought that out in an instructional.
Islam.
And then by trying to work out what he does, helps you prepare how to defend against it.
Okay, so then What were you trying to solve for that Islam does really well? Like seriously, flex some knowledge here. What makes Islam
That's proprietary knowledge.
Yeah.
Right.
What makes Islam such a great and dominant MMA grappler?
I mean, the leg ride's amazing. Like, he puts himself in positions where you can't put the base of your feet on the ground. If you can't put the base of your feet on your ground, you can't hip escape, you can't do those traditional jiu-jitsu style movements. What we were working on for Volks is just never letting him get to a position where he was flat. And he would bounce back up and land on an elbow, and then we had strategies to deal with the wrist ride, like he would turtle out of the wrist ride. He was always preventing Islam locking the hands or framing an elbow in such a way that it would be very fatiguing for Islam to keep those hands locked. So all those types of strategies, as well as specific submission defense. Islam's
I noticed the head in the cage to prevent the back take, right?
Yes, yeah. I mean, Islam did have one crafty counter to that where he shifted weight side to side, but yeah, it was good.
So you're an opportunistic guy, an entrepreneur guy, hilarious too, but you did big shit there with the best fighter in the world at the time. Does the phone start ringing? Are you then going, okay, how do I take this career turn as the featured go-to hot coach of the moment in the UFC?
I'm just like, sorry, brother, I need to do title fights, you know?
Is that what you say?
Well, no, I mean, that's the only thing I've done because I was the last addition to the basically the team for the corner. And that was basically specifically for the Ortega one because that was the first fight I was in the corner. So it's like his true corner is probably Eugene Joe Lopez, Frank Hickman. I was added on for that title fight. So like I'm probably the most disposable. I think a grappling coach, I can probably provide help for certain fights. You know, like I worked a little bit with Jack Della for Gilbert Burns. I can't take credit for what he did, but I did a little bit. You know, I can help people a little bit. But for specific, I'm more for specific fights. You don't like, I'm fucking holding the bucket for Max Holloway. You know what I mean? Like I'm not needed for every fight, but they give it to me anyway.
But is this the direction you want to go? I mean, does that sell what you're selling, the Craig Jones brand, even better?
I think so. As long as like, I mean, if it's a person I like, because I don't do the coaching for the money. Obviously, it's good for the brands. Like it's good to grow everything you're doing, but I do it just because I'm an MMA fan or I'm good friends with the guy I coach because it's actually pretty horrible to coach your friends at MMA because it's like they can get really badly hurt.
Yeah.
And you feel a great deal of pressure making sure you don't fucking tell them to do the wrong thing.
Was that locker room after the Topuria fight? I can't imagine that was too much fun.
I mean, after the Islam one, the energy was lower. It was a little more positive after the Topuria one. But yeah, I mean, it's like could be on top of the world or it's absolutely horrible.
All right, so people probably ask you this. You probably think about it because the ultimate entrepreneurial thing is, well, let's get Craig Jones famous enough where he stumbles into a big MMA fight he shouldn't be in. Do you ever think about that? Like, what would stop you with your grappling background from making that transition?
Drugs,
Okay, maybe
yeah,
outside of drugs and long-term contracts, but like, if tomorrow you signed up for a training camp for an MMA fight against an elite, I guess, heavyweight,
we've built it into the CJI contract. You know, like obviously when I destroy Gabby in grappling, I've presented the option that we could have a proper fight.
Okay, now that's getting deep intergender. Now that's crossing some lines there.
Yeah, it's like is this are you a promoter or is this a hate crime? What's happening here?
Yeah, we'll see how the first one goes.
But like, let's say you go in there against Tom Aspinall tomorrow in an MMA fight.
Jesus.
Well, you got to pick the biggest dude on earth.
Okay, I mean, what would you fight?
I know I look big, but you know,
185. You can make 185.
Yeah, well, I could probably 185. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you're going there against a super elite guy. Could you not just survive with your jiu-jitsu, but
probably
confidently plan a path to victory in your eyes, if you wanted to?
I mean, it would be tough. It would be tough for me to get it done in MMA because I don't have a wrestling background, and I'm fully reliant on getting the guy to the ground.
Sure.
That's very tough. But if the price was right, I'd go in there and get knocked out for good show money, you know?
So for example, because I want the Craig Jones brand to be like the premier brand in this space because it makes me laugh better than anyone. Jake Paul's eventually going to make an MMA debut if the smart cage picked up the phone and was like,
yeah, but he's not going to go from fighting Mike Tyson to the guy putting.
I'm creating a scenario where the money would be so much that
I mean, forget about the name. If the price is right, I would do fucking anything.
So you're like what's an Indecent Proposal? Have you seen that old ass movie?
With Demi Moore, yes.
Yeah,
I'd be Demi Moore though, you know.
Okay.
Other players in the sport might be the husband.
I'm trying to figure out how you're wired because you're smart and hilarious and ahead of the game and obviously also an athlete and can compete. But there's this loose thread through. Maybe that's the magic of Craig Jones that I can never really.
He
figure
wants the
out.
jokes to confuse you that there's not a lot going on there. There's a lot going on.
There's a
there.
lot going on there. He's brilliant, but like, do you have an end game? Do you have something you're building toward?
You're basically retired from competing too, right?
Yeah, unless it's something cool.
I mean,
unless
the
it's something
Gabby
fun,
thing or
yeah.
whatever. But
I mean, you want to be rich and famous, but like, are you building towards something?
I mean, I'm trying to change the sport right now. We actually got some film projects in the work. That's kind of why I've been traveling around so much. So we got a non-profit Fair Fight Foundation. We're starting that by fighting a woman, but we're going to try to use this as a platform to get these documentaries out there. I'm trying
what
to
kind of documentaries? Did you make one in Kiev or Ukraine?
Well, I'm going back to Odessa next week. I think it's next week. Yeah. So we're going back to Ukraine, doing some follow-up filming and stuff. Yeah. Obviously, it's challenging to film in Ukraine.
And are you documenting the jiu-jitsu scene in these countries?
We're trying to do what Bourdain did for sort of street food, but for jiu-jitsu.
Now that's interesting.
But I can't tell if you love jiu-jitsu or if you hate it. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of both with you.
Oh, I mean, there are things I love and hate about it. But like, all right, so like Scientology doesn't start with Planet Xena. They start with Tom Cruise. So for us to go jiu-jitsu, we're not going to start with the competitions and the weirdos. We're going to try and find interesting people to talk to in the sport.
Okay, so it sounds to me like you like the grassroots part of jiu-jitsu, but maybe less so the very top and all the fuck games up there.
For sure. I love traveling to places where people high up in the jiu-jitsu world never go. You know, I love that aspect of it.
Where do you want to go that you haven't been?
Well, I'm going to Odessa, and I'm going to go to Kherson next week. So it might be the end of me, but that'll be Ukraine front line. Go back, see my friends out there.
Yeah, dude. If you're in Kherson, that's real close to the fault lines of the conflict, no?
That's true. That's where I'll be playing in the tournament from.
Fucking hell, dude. Why is Ukraine so important to you? I mean, I understand that their situation is interesting and unique, and these people do need help, but there's a lot of people who fit that description. So why them?
I know I get a lot of this. Hey, like it's like a lot of obviously Free Palestine posts on my thing, and it's like, I mean, just because I choose to do something for cancer doesn't mean it's like, hey, fuck, what about heart disease? You know, like I get a lot of this. It's like trying to tackle one thing at a time. Ukraine is a big jiu-jitsu base. Now I've gone over there, I feel a bit of attachment to the people, you know?
How'd you get over there the first time? In other words, like, were you invited? Did you go on a whim? What happened?
We were actually filming something in Kazakhstan that went a bit ass up over there, you know? Like, you can imagine there's a bit of trauma in Kazakhstan from Borat, and I might bring some of that out of them. So we decided to go to...
This is the end game. Okay, we figured it out. This is great. This is like the Borat of
I watched
combat
some of this
sports.
stuff. You had all the gear on. You were riding horses and shit out there. It looked like it was nice.
Cockpile, yeah. We were doing cockpile. That's the name of it.
Did he say coke pile? I couldn't hear that. Yeah. Luke's just imagining cocks piling up.
Get the fuck out. All right, go ahead and finish your story.
No, I mean, we're in Kazakhstan. There were some difficulties. So I'd been invited to Ukraine before. So I was like, fuck it. On a week's notice, I was like, let's do a charity event over there, keep the traveling going. We had that time allocated for filming. So we're basically like, go to Ukraine.
And it seems like you were, I don't know, moved by the experience to some degree.
For sure. I mean, yeah, some of the places I've been traveling to, like obviously you see some stuff that will move you, put in perspective kind of the priorities in your life. But it is good to be in a position that I can travel. Like jiu-jitsu gives you connections everywhere. It's like a giant cult, stations around the world, you know? So it's like doors are open everywhere for me around the world. So I'm going to try to exploit those.
All right,
Exploit's the wrong word.
Yeah.
Adventure.
Yeah. All right, can we talk about drugs?
We can talk about drugs.
All right.
Do you have any?
So I knew you were taking stuff, and of anyone in my line of work, I have the most permissive attitudes about that kind of stuff. I am curious, how have you not lost your hair with TRT? Because I'm dying to get on it.
I'm a big hat guy, you know, clearly.
Let me see. Are you balding?
We're close. Time's running out, you know?
Oh, a little bit. Yeah, you lost some hair from the TRT?
I think it was going to happen anyway, but you know, like the bigger your muscles are, the less they look up, I think.
Yeah. How was TRT? You like it?
Incredible, yeah.
Should I get on it? I'm 44.
You should have got on it 10 years ago.
I mean,
in your 30s? It seems a little early for I'm just a regular donk.
I mean, that's a late bloomer in jiu-jitsu. They're starting at 14, you know? So why wait?
I mean, what will you be on in this Gabby fight? It plays into
what
drugs.
do you want?
Would you
All right,
reveal
so
to us?
Let's talk about what do you want?
There's one particular drug. It's called halotestin. Have you heard about this?
No.
Halotestin will actually enlarge your penis.
How's that possible?
He's interested. It took that to get him on.
I was already interested in the drugs.
That was a tell right there. That was a big tell.
No, I don't even understand.
He's like, does it work?
I want the regular TRT, but go ahead, please.
Halitosin is a strong oral. I don't think it's good for your liver, but I mean, your liver can take a beating.
Okay, so what are you on now?
What am I on now? 250 milligrams a test. But I mean, my life's chaos. I fucking forget to take it half the time, you know. But Evertitan sponsored me out in Texas. I meant to take 250, a little bit of Deca, and then when I'm feeling extra spicy, some Anavar. Actually, that's funny. Me and
Are you just blasting and cruising, or do you get on and off?
we just, well, I mean, I don't even really blast. I just stay on a
You just cruise.
TRT dose.
This
yeah.
life is one long bender, and he's living it.
How often do you get your
You sound like my
how often do you
therapist.
get your blood checked?
Not as often as I should.
Oh, fucking hell, guy. How old are you?
32. I had to think about that. Yeah.
Oh,
32.
dude. I'm telling careful with that.
You know what's crazy is I was doing black market steroids forever. When I finally switched over to Evertitan, he was really going to concern. He's like, fuck, what are we going to see here? Bloods were fine. I'm like a cockroach, mate. You can't kill me.
Hold on. The black market steroids, what does that mean?
Online. Man, I used to head down to Tijuana and head to the pharmacy there, buy it over the counter, go in the bathroom.
You just drive across the border, buy it?
You never bought
I'd walk.
Stanozol on the street corner? I've done whippets in an Arby's parking lot.
I've also-
That's a true story. All right.
Yeah, there's some fantastic fucking Chinese restaurants in Tijuana. I'll say that much.
Okay, how long were you taking like the, I don't know, Tijuana drugstore stuff?
Oh, a while. I was ordering it online for a long time, just get it delivered here. But then again, like I would definitely recommend like the pharmaceutical grade stuff. So whatever I was taking, it was just probably weaker. So as soon as I started with some proper Evertitan pharmaceutical stuff, it was just
All right, let's talk.
much better.
Biggest upsides of the stack you're on is what?
Just feeling great, recover. I mean, like if your diet, your sleep, if you're stressed, that can affect your testosterone levels. They can fluctuate. So obviously, if you just have a base level built in, you have less fluctuations. I don't personally think it's that healthy to blasting cruise. Obviously, there's going to be consequences of blasting, but going on cycle and coming off, I think personally is an old school way of thinking because your body doesn't deal well with fluctuations. So I think just a stock standard, find a dose.
Okay, but what's
stay
the
at-
long-term problem with being on a straight cruise here? Your heart just falling out one day?
Talk to me in 20 years. Nah. No, I mean, it should be all good, you know?
Hey, he passed the 27 club test. He made it to age 32, Luke.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, he's-
Yeah. 32. Yeah, I mean, I'll just
32 is the new 27.
35
Yes,
is.
yes. Yeah. Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, Brian Jones. We can keep going. yeah.
35 is. I'm telling you, it's not,
Well,
not
okay,
far.
here's the question I have. This is legit because I come from a dirtbag background and often wonder if I didn't fall into combat sports podcasting and writing, where
what would you
I
be doing? You'd be in a van down by the river.
Like, would you be an absolute dirt hole bar backing somewhere right now if it wasn't for jiu-jitsu? Like, it's kind of the American dream story, but the Australian version, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'd be doing. Hey, I have no idea.
You don't think about that. You are just living, man. You have no regrets.
I don't have any permanent address. I'm just on the road full time. We're putting in the body whatever
Are
we
you
want.
a legal resident?
I can't talk about that.
Well, you're getting out of the country. You gotta have some
Do you
papers.
mean legal tax resident? I mean,
Right.
we've got an
right.
address in the Bahamas. No.
Do you own B Team?
Oh, there's a few. It's split up amongst a few.
Okay. Are you okay? When I asked it, are you the owner of the intellectual property or the facility or the
I mean, I come up with most of the designs, believe it or not.
for the merch?
Yeah.
I can believe that. I can believe that.
We got to get you to train Conor McGregor's grappling. That would be fun.
Yeah, Dylan Dennis for it. Dude, is
would be
is
fun
Dylan
to
still on
watch.
his
I'll tell you
corner?
what, we could spend a couple hours in a bathroom cubicle talking
Figuring
about
it out.
grappling.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what I'm
fucking get to the
thinking
bottom
right
of
now.
Hold on, we never got to the downsides. The downsides of what you're on is what?
Roid rage?
So your testicles will shrink. That's one downside. Then I'm not doing anything anymore. So they shrink
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
My right one a little more than my left. That one tucks back inside sometimes. But hey, we don't need it. It's good because grappling, what happens? You get hitting the balls all the time. If you don't have any, one less obstacle.
All right, that's rationalization. What else? What else?
Downsides? I don't even think there are any downsides.
Does it ever affect your mood? Does it ever affect, I don't know, anything?
I mean, some people it does.
Yeah.
But I'm the same
I
all the
heard
time.
somebody tell me that Lorenzo Fertitta told them that we're all going to be on HGH for the rest of our lives, and he's ahead of the game.
Yeah. I'm desperate.
I don't think anyone looks at my health and thinks he's ahead of the game, but
Yeah. I've been toying with the idea of getting on it for like the last
He's
5
just-
years,
he
and I
can't
just
pull
keep
that
putting it off,
trigger.
and I can't pull the trigger just yet.
you'll feel great.
I
feel
know everyone
great.
says that. Everybody says that. I just haven't.
Just get on some HCG as well if you want to.
What's the recommendation? How do I find, since you've gone from literally, just some motherfucker selling meth out of a school bus to now you got a legit, you got like a doctor prescribing this shit, right?
Yep.
How do I find a reputable place?
I mean, that's a good point.
Just ask at the street corner, probably. Luke.
Come
Next
down.
to the human pile of shit in the subway.
You need a vacation to Mexico. Let's go.
No, I want to do it. I want to do it. I want my health
You
insurance
got
to
to
pay
be eating
for
that
it.
Canelo beef, all right? That's what you need to start
That
eating.
clenbuterol is real, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
No, seriously, how do I do it?
I mean, you'd be able to just find a
It's
doctor
like, really,
here.
can I get a number, please? Can I
Yes,
get
I
it?
want one.
You'd be able to find a reputable doctor in New York. You'd be able to. I would always say this to people that want to get on. I'd be like, go get your testosterone levels checked. Because I think if your levels are already pretty good, like I'd get it checked a couple of times because they can fluctuate. But I think like if your levels are high, why fuck with it?
Right.
But if you go in,
Yeah, I don't think that's my problem. I got to tell you. At 44, I threw my back out taking my bike lock off this morning.
all right, get on it straight
Yeah.
away. Yeah.
Yeah, I need help. Big time.
All right, Craig, you're fearless in the jokes you go after and the people that you go out of your way to offend. So people have to wonder when you live the life of the best public troll going in this space, is it sometimes like a double, there's nothing a double leg could figure out. Is someone going to shoot on you? Are you ready for this? Are you surprised it hasn't happened
I'm
yet?
surprised someone hasn't run up on you yet.
Well, are you going to get...
And I don't mean to say this like to worry you. It is coming. It is coming. I don't know when. I don't know.
I mean, look, it'd be a poetic end,
The jiu-jitsu is the ultimate defense for this.
I mean, people give me death threats. I'm going to war zones. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to take from me? An Eastern European woman already hasn't. Like, you got to live.
What does your family think about what you do?
You got to grab life by the balls.
Like when you're on Instagram and you're posting something and your ass is hanging out the entire time in the mirror.
I mean, they're probably a little confused as well, to be honest.
Just marketing, Mom. Just marketing.
Yeah.
It's just
the Ladyboy videos are confusing for them.
I remember the Ladyboy videos. Yes,
that was a scandalous turn for your comedy.
That was.
You really
but
went
they're
for it
good
there,
time.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they're fun. They're fun. Good time.
Where do you stand on Dana White? Like, meathead genius on top of the world, we love him, or is this guy comical that you can poke fun at as well?
Oh, I mean, there's some people I'd be scared to poke fun at. I'd probably be scared. Because I'd want to
trying to get those fight
I
pass
want to be like, guys, give me some tickets to the event tomorrow. You know what I mean? Dana, come on.
I will say this. You're taking a certain degree of risk to do this invitational, which I think is really cool. Why don't MMA fighters ever do anything to improve their pay?
I mean,
and don't say that they do, because they fucking don't.
Yeah, what happened with that lawsuit recently? They settled on, right? Yeah.
They had multiple chances. And I know there's some guys, Alaya Quinta and some other ones that really tried to get a union going. That shit failed miserably. They don't want to do anything to help themselves. And it's fucking baffling. Why?
Well, I mean, like, we were in a blessed position that we can do this because none of us were locked into contracts. That helps a lot.
That's not entirely true. We got some contracts that we're working on. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of helped. I don't know. You have to be the people at the top. It has to come from the top down. It has to be people that are at their peak fame, peak success. It has to come from them. It can't come from the bottom up. That's very tough to do if the top are very well compensated.
And the only reason why you feel comfortable doing it is not that, because in other words, there might be other people in like the top tier of grappling who feel the way you do, but don't feel the way you do about moving the needle on this. But since you're not really actively competing anymore, who gives a fuck, right?
Yeah, I just don't care at this point. If a promotion's going to be difficult to work with, I just won't work with them. Like, I don't feel like I need anyone in the sport. So that puts me in a unique position that I can basically tell everyone to get fucked and just give it a crack.
Have you created like a new economy? Not just you, but the things you do where Karate Combat is putting the stuff on. I know one has restrictive contracts, but they've been keeping the Ruotola brothers reasonably busy anyway, where it's just kind of like super fight here, super fight there. Doesn't have to be a jiu-jitsu place. It could be a karate place. It can be any kind of place. Do you feel like that's a lane that you helped develop?
Obviously there's famous grapplers in the sport. Obviously Gordon Ryan contributed to the super fight sort of economy. But yeah, I mean, if you can market yourself, I don't see why an event wouldn't take a chance on you. But I think if you're running these events, you kind of are going to target those grapplers that can market themselves, or at least help them find a way to market themselves. And this event has been really good for the athletes that have jumped on board because of the organic sort of cult-like following it has. It's giving them a voice too, because they can now market themselves as standing with us on these issues.
The tutorial business, how lucrative is it? What can somebody make doing that? And I realize everyone's going to be different, but that notwithstanding, what is possible in that economy?
Oh, I mean, that's really good. I mean, obviously you've got to split some of those profits with the people like BJJ Fanatics. Some people are doing it on Patreon, like Lock and Giles has sub better. Like, it is really, really
I saw
Really lucrative.
the guy on your team, Damien. He had a Ashigarami series that was on
yep.
something else. It wasn't on BJJ Fanatics.
Yes, I mean, some people will choose to do it on other platforms. BJJ Fanatics really controls the market. That's where you're going to make the most money. They're great to work with. They have great, consistent marketing. But I mean, man, you could pull. I don't want to speculate too much on other numbers, but obviously you'd be like probably John and Gordon making the most money off those.
Which looks like what?
Oh, I mean, you'd be talking some
Ballpark.
gross per month. I would say over 200.
Fuck me. Seriously? Take home?
They're split. I'm not sure what they're split.
Yeah,
would be,
yeah.
But definitely gross sales.
Fucking
yeah.
hell. So that's a 6-figure business, 7-figure business.
Yeah,
for some.
that's the most beneficial to be a part of.
Will the Gordon Ryan rivalry with you ever continue in an actual grappling match again?
I mean, the door's always open. Again, like if the cash will be there for that. So if they compensated me well, for sure I would do it. But part of me loves just provoking for the love of the game. You know, like it's like he's the dream. You know, he's the guy that every joke's like whoosh, gone. You know, like I'm trying to think of the
Let me
best.
understand something, because I've interviewed him about jiu-jitsu or jiu-jitsu and MMA, and when it comes to talking about those topics, he always sounds extremely informed, very thoughtful and detailed and organized in his thought as
and
well.
he is when he stays on topic, and that's what he knows about.
Yeah,
which is grappling. Brilliant.
it's
Ask him about anything else.
Your belief is that when he strays off of it, it just falls off a cliff.
He's literally Ben Stiller from Dodgeball. That's literally the character.
Well, Luke, we've talked last week about you really trying to help normalize the idea of shitting your pants. Like it shouldn't be such a shamed thing.
Listen, these things happen in MMA.
Yeah. So are you trying to normalize no spear use in public culture and
If I can at least create a culture of other athletes that are abusing these stimulants as well, and maybe it's all a lie from me, then I have a competitive edge.
No, you're partying like a motherfucker. Come on, you gotta be.
I mean, sometimes before the match, you know, you need a little coffee to pick you up.
Do you do that before
a
matches?
little extra sugar in the coffee?
A little booger
Yeah.
sugar?
Yeah.
We'll keep the mysteries alive.
What's gonna be the name brand of those things?
Good question. It's Oscar and Frank sunglasses, and it says "You're welcome, Craig Jones." But again, obviously, many times you need a very small spoon.
Right. You know,
Luke, from like your fraternity days. I
can't do coke. I can't do coke. It doesn't.
Yeah,
It
That's
made
what I
me-
say, but I keep doing it. You know?
20 years ago, I tried it, and it just.
Luke's like, let me stick with downers.
Have you ever done it?
No.
Really?
Oh, I put other. I don't. Should we be talking about this publicly? I don't
Why?
know.
This is the whole point of
Oh,
it.
I guess we should.
he's
When
not-
in Rome.
Yes,
he
we
can't
should.
admit. He
When in
can't
Rome.
admit.
I mean, who the fuck else are we going to talk about it with?
I've seen some things, Luke. You know what I mean? I've smelled some.
Hey,
things.
help
So
us
have
with
your nostrils.
Help us with some previews. 302. Dustin
302.
or Islam?
Listen, I think Dustin gets a guillotine.
I think he's right.
Why did his guillotines fail?
It's a hard move to pull off. Period. You know, like it's just hard to get. Like you have to go all in on it. You know, it's a
Like
bold-
Ortega?
I know Ortega
It's a
makes it
bold-
look easy. Or
His is
guys
yeah.
at that level.
He makes
anyway.
juggling chicks at that level look easy.
Well, he certainly
Yeah,
does.
he does. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. I mean, let's hope for the best. I'm hoping for a guillotine.
Whose grappling do you actually like to watch in MMA?
Who's grappling? I mean, tons of the guys. I more love the scramble. Like you might think, oh, he does jiu-jitsu, he's probably into the submissions and stuff. But I really like the scrambles, the top to bottom scrambles.
Like the flyweights and stuff?
Well, like Jack Della's ability to not get pinned.
Dude,
I love
and
that.
that Hail Mary in that third round against Gilbert, kicking off the fence and coming over the top.
Yeah, he countered the wrist rod so well. He used Gilbert's forward pressure to
He
create
pulled him out and then
momentum.
he rolled through, right?
Yeah, so guys like that, where they're like doing things you've not seen before. The creativity, that's what I like to watch.
All right, anybody non-Australian that you like to watch?
I forget the guy's name. He used to have crazy scrambles. I think he lives in Vegas. He's got some crazy stuff. I forget his name. He was
Patchy mix.
Nah, this guy had been in prison for drug smuggling. That's not why I like him, but it adds to it.
Ian Heinisch.
Ian Heinisch.
Ian
yeah.
Heinisch,
Thank
yeah, I love
Thank
watching
you,
his
Long
guy.
Island.
And I say this nicely. He's a maniac. Yeah.
He has Jurassic back. Very well built guy. Loves crypto.
Hey, we should add. So we got our producer here.
Long
who
Island
is-
Luke. Yeah.
He's an idiot, but his dad is from Australia. Now this guy is fully American,
Really?
But his dad played semi-pro footy.
Well, yeah, speak on this, Luke.
He played Aussie rules football, semi-pro for
I got into
Richmond.
that,
He can't hear me, so let him know.
Okay, his dad played semi-Aussie rules football for Richmond.
Richmond.
Semi-pro.
Oh, Richmond, yeah.
Yeah.
I like Aussie rolls. Fuck that rugby shit.
Will you ever go back to Australia to live?
To live? I don't know. I don't know where I'll end up. I don't think too far ahead. Taking it every day at a time,
I can tell. You're from Adelaide?
Adelaide.
Tell me about Adelaide. What is that like?
Adelaide. I mean, it's got, I think, 1.5 million people, but it's like, I wouldn't define it as a big city by American standards. Like its downtown area is tiny. It's like endless suburbs.
Is there a rough equivalent in America?
Rough. I mean, American cities are pretty rough compared to those Aussie ones, but
Yeah.
is there an equivalent in size? No, it's just like endless suburbs. Nice place, quiet place, relaxing place.
And do you miss it at all?
Do I miss Australia? Yeah, Australia's beautiful, beautiful place, Cool people. People get my sense of humor.
Yeah. Americans
Here it's
can be a little.
They must love you in Ireland and the UK, right?
I think the same banter. The banter's the same. We say
Yeah.
different things, but we pick up on each
No, they're
other's
more
things.
willing to. We call it playing the dozens. They're a little bit more willing to do that. We found, right?
Yeah, that's the dream in America when you're talking and no one knows if you're serious or not. That's what I love about.
Yeah, but
being
that's what
here.
makes you stand out here.
It's true. It's true. Yeah,
You got to have balls to pull that off, though. Okay, you got to have huevos.
and mine are shrunken.
And his are, as we found out, his are very California raisins. There you go. Yeah. Wow, this is great, right? This was just, the power hour, right?
So
This is
when
demonetized for sure.
When are tickets going on sale?
Yeah, they were meant to go on today. I think we'll have them out within a week or so. As soon as we get that stage, because what we're really trying to go, we want to put on the best show ever because it's obviously there's a lot of pressure. You're going up against if you would put on a show against UFC, you better not make any fucking big errors.
Yeah.
So it's like for us, just the unique nature of the angled walls provides some production difficulties. So we have to build a stage around it. So before tickets go on sale, we need to finalize that. And of course, the closest seats will be the VIPs. We better not fuck up the VIP seating, which would be funny if they bought the closest seats and they couldn't see into the alley.
Does the commission have any say over this event?
No.
Okay.
Are your broadcasters allowed to openly do drugs? Or is it more of a hush-hush thing?
Oh, I mean, we're on YouTube, so hopefully I don't go down the path you guys have of getting demonetized today. So we're going to steer clear of that for the
Yeah, I mean that's been a
production.
long process for it. Who is going to be your commentators?
Still figuring that out. Obviously, I'm tackling the athletes, the venue, ticket sales first. We're talking to potential commentators and referees, but we haven't locked any of them in yet.
Listen, we don't know what the fuck we're talking about, but we'll also take a check for things we don't know what the fuck we're
August
talking
16th and 17th, Thomas and Mack Center.
But you have to do some of the nose beers to get some passion into the grappling community,
I'll make an exception in this one case for you, Craig Jones.
I was trying to get Alex Jones to commentate the Gabby Garcia match. I
Oh,
thought he'd
wow.
provide some really articulate points.
And the money's going to charity. You're going to involve him?
Well, he needs money, I don't know. Now, I really want to get some comedians on board, like Nick Mullen. I think he'd love commentating me fighting a woman.
Nick
The
Mullen.
Cumtown guys.
Who is
Remember?
Nick Mullen?
You guys don't watch
Is that the
Cumtown?
red-haired guy?
Cumtown, New York podcast.
Oh, I know the Stavy.
yeah,
the
it used to
Greek
be
guy.
Stav, Nick Mullen, and Adam Friedland. Funniest podcast ever.
I hear that's the best podcast out there from my friends. I don't listen.
I do watch Stavy. Stavy's fucking hilarious, but I don't know if I don't think I've seen Cumtown.
Look into Nick Mullen, funny guy. I think.
It does fit the brand. Oh, it's just great.
Is there do you guys have a website yet for CJI?
Yeah, Fair Fight. Wait, no, Fight. I don't even know the fucking website to be honest. But Fair Fight Foundation. There's something.
This is the
there.
best promotion ever.
Yes.
Like, you'll just fucking find it
We
out.
gotta
on
go.
your own,
We
you
really
know?
gotta go
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Vegas
yeah.
at that time. We got to find a way to make it work.
We do. We do have to have. We'll turn
Are
it into our own high rollers.
Are you gonna have credential media?
For sure, I think.
Are you selling tickets or is this just
No,
come all?
Yeah,
Come
the
as you
ticket
are?
sales are
Okay,
gonna go
yeah,
to the
sorry.
charity. Yeah.
Gonna go to charity. Yeah, we're gonna go to some obviously powerful Colombian manufacturing charities.
Ooh, Luke knows a lot about Colombia.
My wife's
Getting
from
out real
there.
charities.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can you
You ever been there?
Can you quickly settle?
No,
life
but I've
debates?
sampled their exports.
Yep.
So is he?
So if I married one of
And their
them,
imports.
I married one of
Can
them.
you settle some personal debates between us? Just answer what you prefer: BBLs or Eastern European women.
Usually BBLs, Eastern European women will hurt you a lot more. Bank account
Thank you.
wise, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, eat all the shit.
When it comes to lifting weights, gloves or no gloves?
No gloves. I'd never use protection.
I think that's a perfect note to end it on. Look, that's great. You can't beat that. That's great.
Craig, let me see your tattoo, by the way. That's a good tattoo, man. Who did that?
It's a girl from Guadalajara, Elvia. She actually lives in New York now. She has a tattoo studio here somewhere.
Can I see this one too? No, this one.
This one? She did that one as well,
Dude,
yeah.
how the fuck do we have similar tattoos? It's kind of like shocking. Mine's are like old school American traditional. Yours are a little more realistic, but
Mine's just a bunch of animals on that fucking Noah's Ark of it.
yeah.
Looks like Tristan's arm, our old camera guy, right?
Yeah,
rabid
except he
animals.
doesn't have a box cutter in his mouth that he's ready to pull out and start slap. We had a guy who worked on the show who just never fucking talked. And then like
Really?
over the course of 6 weeks, every time you saw him had a new tattoo everywhere.
But it was always rabid animals.
And it was rabid fucking like woodland animals. And we were convinced if you just said one wrong word,
yeah.
it was going to be, it was going to be a box cutter day
Yeah, it
in
was gonna be
the
the end.
office
Yeah,
that day.
yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
great.
I might
That's
need him for the event. Where's he at now?
Security, please, Long Island Luke, get him on the horn for that. Craig Jones, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks,
and
man. I really appreciate
regaling
this.
us
Thanks
with
for
your
having me.
ridiculousness. August 16th
Next time
and
you come
17th.
through, people asked us, they're like, hey, Craig's coming through. Do you guys want to put some white powder on the table and then pretend to snort it? And I'm like, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to do like the fake shit, right?
I mean, I'm not. I mean, I wasn't part of my contract. I didn't agree to that, Ryan.
But next time, we can at least do some beers, whether they go in the nose or
yeah,
not.
Delta
you know.
8s and beers. that'll
Delta
be
8s and
great.
beers.
Yeah,
We're in our
go.
40s. We have kids. It's different now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, keep
My
living,
heart's in its 40s. Well, but I'm here.
keep living the life we all wish we could. You'll die young, but you'll go out in a blaze of glory, and I can't wait for it.
I hope so,
right?
yeah.
Are you going to the fights tomorrow?
No, I haven't got tickets yet. I've got to call in some favors, you know?
All right.
Uncle Dana. Yeah, there you go.
And
Dana,
next
come
time
on.
you're back in B team is when?
So I go Romania, Ukraine, Ibiza, obviously all business trips, and then back to Austin after
You
that.
been
in a
to
few weeks.
Ibiza? I
Uh,
hate that fucking pronunciation, but
I know. It's like you put a little lisp on it. You sound like Mike
it's
Tyson.
unnecessary. It's like
that's how they say it. That's how they, don't get me wrong, I hate the pronunciation, but that's how they say it.
There it is.
I've been there once before. Yeah, I don't remember much.
Yeah,
but,
you partied like a motherfucker out there, huh?
Yeah, a bit of the pink powder, you know.
Did you ever do drugs with Oscar Willis? All right, we'll keep that conversation.
Oh, you
for
know
off camera.
Oscar.
Oscar, yeah,
You guys do weird interviews like you're both naked in a tub together
Yeah.
and shit.
that's true. I mean, that's what we usually do. So might as well. film
Oscar
it.
is in phenomenal hang, but I cannot keep up with him for more than 30 minutes. You know.
He's got some good stories.
He is a disturbing human being.
No, he's. You know what? If shit went down, he would have our backs. All right, and you got to protect and support people like that.
No, I would just push him right into the fucking school shooter first. Just kick him right in the back.
Okay, there we go.
All right, Craig Jones, there he is. Round of applause for Craig Jones, everybody. Let's hear it. There he is. Thank you, my friend. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. And hope we can catch up again soon. We'll
be
try to
back.
make it out for the CJI.
The CJI Las
August
Vegas.
16th and
I'll steal
17th.
it.
Yeah, you can have it. You
Steal
can
it.
have it. All yours. All yours.
Great stuff there.
There he
Craig
is.
Jones. Coach Craig Jones. Follow him. Give him free drugs.
Yeah, it's
There
all
you
right.
go.
We were
wow,
expecting
he's
it. Don't
wearing,
worry.
He's actually has his name and number on the back of that jersey right there.
That's pretty cool.
That
Number
is
10 as
pretty
well.
badass.
Nice
There he
meeting
is.
you. I wasn't being racist, by the way.
Yeah.